Now, the first big takeaway from the Super Bowl is, and this I'm never going to get to go to Kansas City again, is that this sort of feels like the end of the run for the Chiefs. This is kind of how dynasties end, like this. They end shockingly. They end with really difficult defeats where all of your faults are laid bare, right? Philadelphia exposed Kansas City's offensive line. Travis Kelce looks like he is done. The back seven of the Eagles, you saw the Chiefs say we couldn't solve them. It wasn't just, hey, Mahomes turned the football over, which he did. He was trying to make plays from the beginning of the game, almost like he could tell we are up against a different animal than we've played against this season. But this is how dynasties end. The Chiefs they got by all year. They were a great fourth quarter clutch team. But now you play a team with a better roster, and they get dominated from the opening jump. They had no energy. They were flat. You didn't think a team was going to be flat in the Super Bowl. They had no energy. They had no confidence. Travis Kelce even said after the game, we just couldn't get going. We couldn't get going. This is what happens when you get a team that dominates you in all those areas and the way the defensive line controlled the game. This is sort of how dynasties end. They end in a flash because now the Chiefs, you can see the way the last few years have gone. 2 Super Bowls, they get to a third, and boy, they just get boat raced. The teams in the AFC are getting better. Mahomes is running out of options and weapons. Yes, it was a great day for Xavier Worthy, most of it in garbage time, so maybe he can be a big weapon, but he's had Kelce, the best tight end in the NFL the last few years. Now it looks like Travis Kelce is finished because, boy, this playoff should have been when he shined, and instead he had one good game and a couple of games where you couldn't even find him. And while Mahomes is still a great quarterback, you're not going to see the level of excellence that we have because other teams are younger and passing them by, and you can't just keep reloading on the fly. Eventually, you get to a point where we're missing too many weapons. How are we going to do this? It's almost like you look at the Warriors at the end of their run. Hey, boy, it just stopped for them right away. Boy, they got a little bit older. The other teams got better. Tiger Woods at the end, boy, it just stopped for him. Everybody else was getting better. He was getting older. Doesn't mean they can't win another one because I could see one more, kind of like Tiger getting the last Masters, kind of like the Warriors getting the last title a couple of years after they won. They squeezed that one out, and now you see, okay, we're really in disrepair. I could see the Chiefs maybe getting one more over the course of the back half of Mahomes' career, but you see all these teams in the AFC, they're all younger, they're better. The NFC has better teams overall in the AFC. We saw that. I would say the top 4 teams this year were in the NFC overall if you did a power rankings at the end of the Super Bowl. So this kind of looks like, it feels like the end for the Chiefs because, again, this is kind of how dynasties end. Quick, flash, with a lesson of this is how it is when you're playing at a high level, and the Chiefs just couldn't do that at all yesterday.
I mean, there's a big hard reboot that has to happen, right? For the second time, Patrick Mahomes was chased all over a field. In this case, he got obliterated, 6 sacks and the other hits, takedowns, and smash and grab along the way. You just didn't – you had 2 interceptions that were not contestable balls, right? They were just terrible passes, terrible reads. And
he threw one in the second possession on that third down when he scrambled all the way back, one of those Russell Wilson scrambles, and he just threw it up, and somehow 3 Eagles didn't get it.
Right, they all collided because they wanted the interception.
You could tell he felt, we need to push the envelope here. We can't just kind of meander our way into the game and try to win it in the fourth quarter. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you never got one of those exhale moments, even the first possession when you have the drop by Kelce. I don't know that goes on to a long, protracted drive, but you would at least had, all right, exhale. All right, now we get a new set of downs, we reset, and we move on. You completely abandon the run. I do like that the defensive line, you mocked me a little bit because I really like defensive lines a lot and talked about it last week.
Yeah.
You could have argued that those
the Bears ever since Richard defensive line. I love the defensive line.
Yeah, but you could argue that those 4 guys. Well, that was the fun part in Chicago. In just a sec, is those 4 guys. I mean, I know you're not going to give them an MVP as a unit, but you could argue that they earned one along the way. But in Chicago, they're laughing, going, "Yeah, this is what Patrick Mahomes would have been if he'd come here." Okay, so all that revisionist history, again, you would have drafted Deshaun Watson if you went according to draft boards. But, for all of that, what the Bears have been, it's like, yeah, that's what Patrick Mahomes would have been. So people trying to find some solace in that. But you got a hard reboot, right? You got to figure out Travis Kelce, as you said, consistently a non-factor. In this case, a couple of drops, couple of catches at the end, he gets some more records, whatever. It doesn't matter. That was all garbage time. Fact that Mahomes was still in the game in the final minutes so people can push the what a gamer he is narrative. No, they're lucky when he got hit the next time and his arm got raked that nothing bad happened. So you got that. The offensive line was trash, and you tried to cobble that together. It didn't work. The guys that were your focal point there suddenly looked slower and ineffective and trying to pick up for guys that shouldn't have been on the field. Your wide receivers, Rashee Rice was gone, and Worthy finished the season pretty well, but you need at least one or two more guys. DeAndre Hopkins, think about that drop at the end of the first half. In the woulda, shoulda, coulda world, like, I'm not saying you're getting back in the game, but how do you stumble on the turf and not make that catch? Like, at least you might have had a little breath come back into you for a moment.
I think there's a lot of things. Oh, if that happened, if that happened, you're like, if all those things happen, I still don't know that the Chiefs can win.
No. I don't think they're still winning the game. But it would have meant that the game would have been entertaining. Other than, hey, what was the prop bet on that guy? Which is what most of the second half was.
Oh, it just feels like the end of the Chiefs dynasty.
Oh, it's a hard reboot in the AFC. You got a lot of teams you're chasing, and as you said, if you do get back to that ultimate game, good luck.